Storytime with Kitchen Garden. Plot 4B. How is it that an allotment can be kept so neat and tidy and packed with bountiful crops when its owner is never seen? This is the story of the mystery of Plot 4B. The shed door creaked open for a moment and then slammed shut. Startled, Donna stood up from her planting and looked across to the rather dilapidated shed on her neighbour's allotment. How strange, she thought. Must be the wind on the loose door, as there's no one in there. The owner of the shed was never seen, but occasional noises emanated from the rickety wooden structure on this stunning allotment. It was just one more mysterious occurrence on Plot 4B. What was interesting to 4B's neighbours was that the plot was immaculate. There was not a lettuce out of line or a weed in sight. It was packed with sumptuous produce. There were whole-free cabbages which hadn't been netted, wigwams of beans and all manner of other vegetables, all perfectly formed and ready for the picking, but no one knew how this had been achieved. The communal tea shed was abuzz with theories.
Reckon he's on the run and living in there,
said Peter Pete.
I think he's famous and doesn't want to be recognised. Could he be Jeremy Corbyn, do you think? I know he has an allotment in London somewhere.
Wouldn't he just have a bodyguard outside his shed, though, if it was him? Said Lottie Lenny.
Aliens are taking over the shed and are watching us to work out what our weaknesses are so they can invade.
Well, I'm sure they'd have worked out already that a lack of tea bags or running out of milk causes us the most angst, said Donna. That and carrot fly, I would say they think us too backward to even bother with.
Or he must do the plot at night using a head torch,
said Rosebud Ron.
I say we have some nighttime vigils to catch him while we're at it.
Murmurings of approval to this plan reverberated around the shed, and a posse of allotmenteers volunteered to take shifts over several nights to catch their man, woman, or alien. The moon shone brightly, sending a white sheen over the peaks of sheds and tops of peas, as Petey Pete, Donna and Tom took the first watch. Donna had brought a flask of tea so they didn't have to open the communal shed, and a basket of sandwiches and cakes. They had sneaked onto the site via the side gate, crept commando style across the plots, avoiding the manure heap, to hide behind Donna's shed, a perfect view of Plot 4B. They huddled together, waiting, watching and whispering. After many hours, there was still no sign of the mystery plot holder. They heard dogs barking and a drunk singing, but little else to report. Although at one point Donna was convinced she'd heard what sounded like a spade being thrust into soil and water pouring from a standpipe. Then they decided it must have been Tom's stomach gurgling, and so all thought it was time to head home for some tea. The first night had proved fruitless in the search for Plot 4B's owner, but many more vigils were to follow. After a month of nighttime watches by different allotmenteers, incredibly there had still been no sign of the owner of Plot 4B or any work being done. The plot remained pristine and well cared for with not a weed anywhere. One balmy July evening, Petey Pete, Donna and Rosebud Ron took their turn on the stakeout once more. They sat shoulder to shoulder, as usual behind Donna's shed, eating digestive biscuits, as others had done many times before.
I know this might seem stupid,
said Petey Pete very quietly to the other two,
but has anyone thought to ask the secretary who the plots are registered to?
I've already thought of that, said Donna, whispering. I asked Jo who owned it, and the strange thing is she doesn't know. The owner of that plot predates all of us, and there are no records. Rent just arrives anonymously every year.
What? They predate old Fred on Plot 2?
Said Rosebud Ron, taking another biscuit.
He's been guarding on that plot since the year dot. He must be 104 at least. What age does that make our mysterious owner of plot 4B? Does Fred know who they are?
I had a word with Fred yesterday, and he said he's never seen anyone on that plot. And Freddy's here every day without fail, even Christmas Day. Fred says he has no idea who owns it, and that plot has been in prime condition for as long as he can remember. It is perfectly cleared in winter, and come spring, sown and planted, and every row symmetrical. It's just incredible, said Donna. As darkness fell, suddenly there was a sound of a clink of metal and a creak as the allotment main gate was opened.
Shush, someone's coming,
said Peachy Pete. They all peered around the edge of Donna's shed and saw a dark figure walk slowly toward them on the main pathway. The moonlight was bright enough to give the Vigil 3 a reasonable view of this mysterious figure. It looked like a man as he was wearing a long trench coat with a cap, but he was hunched over so the face was obscured. He had a slight limp, and the gait suggested an older person, but it was not easy to tell. The figure walked up the neat path of plot 4B, unlocked the door, and went in. A chink of light could then be seen coming from a crack in the door. "What do we do now?" said Donna in a slightly excited whisper.
Oh, we waited so long for this moment, I think we have to see who it is,
said Rosebud Ron. Nervously, the three crept out from behind their hiding place and approached the shed.
"We don't want to give them heart failure. We'd better let them know we're here,"
said Pete. "Hello," said Donna in a slightly raised voice but barely audible. "Hello, we're just wondering if you're okay," shouted Donna a little louder as they stood on the edge of the plot, not daring to go beyond the boundary. The shed door of plot 4B started to open slowly, and in the doorway stood a bent figure of an elderly man, his face now visible, the aged lines highlighted by shadows from the light within the shed. Donna explained they just wanted to meet him, and the man at first seemed agitated by her request, but then reluctantly invited them into his shed. Once inside, they were met with the warm glow of a paraffin lamp and a cosy, threadbare armchair in one corner. A potting bench was scattered with some clay pots, dried compost, and torn, faded seed packets, which were obviously years old. On one wall, lit up by the flickering light, there were black and white photographs of a man in uniform, and some of the same man holding silver cups and giant vegetables. The three turned to see the craggy face of the old man, who now looked forlorn and downbeaten.
This was my father's shed,
said the old man.
I come here often, feel closer to him here after what happened.
What happened, if you don't mind me asking? Donna said. The old man pulled a pipe from his pocket and lit the tobacco, sending a plume of smoke into the hazy light.
He died in the war. This was his allotment. He was a great gardener, you know. He won lots of prizes for his vegetables.
The man raised his eyes to the pictures on the wall.
I had to keep this place. I had to keep it going, you see.
With that, he faltered and stopped briefly before continuing.
We fell out the day he left the war. I was young, arrogant. My last words to him were, I never want to see you again. And I got my wish.
Donna, Pete and Ron sat quietly taking in the terribly sad story, while the old man sat back in the armchair, puffing on his pipe once more. "I'm sorry," said Donna. "I'm sure he knew you didn't mean it. He must be looking down on you now, wanting to tell you as much. I think it's wonderful you're keeping the allotment going. What a tribute to him. No disrespect, but at your age to be growing such amazing vegetables is incredible." The old man looked up.
Oh no, dear. I just come here to sit in the shed. Never lifted a spade in my life. Didn't inherit my father's love of gardening with his green fingers. I'm just grateful someone here is using the ground around it.
A big smile broke on the old man's face and he chuckled.
Even growing my father's favourite varieties, would you believe?
Donna looked at Pete. Pete looked at Donna. They both looked at Rosebud Ron, and their faces became as white as the gleam of moonlight on the perfectly formed cabbages, parsnips and potatoes which surrounded the shed of plot 4B.